Boiled Seafood, Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, 320 West, 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
Tired of boring merch and want your brand to stand out like the big names? Elevate your look with Red 7 Tees. They don't just print shirts, they create bold identities. They are a veteran-owned custom apparel shop providing the kind of detail that turns heads, using high-quality digital printing and embroidery to give you that unique style you love with no minimums or cookie-cutter designs. From small business to sports teams, if you've got a vision, they'll help you wear it proudly. Visit Red7Tees.com.
GLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX New Haven. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Transmitting from the CBC Construction Studio. Get ready.
Let's play the game.
Sports Talk Radio will never be the same.
I just don't think that anybody's going to succeed in that system.
Bad organization.
It's just a bad organization.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
Onion pickles, onions pickles.
Live and local
Look, it's impressive.
on ESPN.
Northwest Florida.
What is going on, Panama City? You are now riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, tuned into ESPN Northwest Florida 104.3 on your dial. I'm David Hayes along with Caveman Rick and the Bone Crusher. We are locked and loaded for another Friday afternoon here in the doghouse, and this doghouse has been built up by CBC Construction. You can head to their website, cbcconstruction.com, or give them a ring at 850-747-3815. We've got a loaded guest list today. We've got Jack Patterson in the building with us, along with Cali Man and Hollywood Hickman, as we get ready for what's taking place at the Possum Palace tomorrow night. Doors open up at 4 p.m., bell time at 5 p.m. This is a benefit event for Chase Hansen. We'll find out all about that from 4:20 to 5 this afternoon. Then at the top of hour number 2, we're going to have Chris Gollin joining us, MLB writer. We'll talk kind of a American League focus, but I know he wants to talk about the Rockies. And throughout the day today, we'll be talking about our MLB All-Star teams, as MLB All-Star voting is now open. And you can vote up to 5 times a day. So Braves fans, if you do want to see any representatives, we have to have one. But if you want to see multiple, get on there and just fraud the system and just vote for the Braves
5 times a day. Like, I don't understand that. I mean, voting one time is fine, even maybe one time a day, but up to 5, like, who's got that kind of time?
Yeah.
You know, it'd be nice to have that kind of time that you want to, like, pad numbers, for your, all-star players that you want in, but I don't know. To me, it's kind of gratuitous, a little much.
Well, there you go. Also a little much. Game 3 of the Women's College World Series going on tonight after a 4-3 victory for Nyjah Kennedy and the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Texas Tech and Texas going at it, which leads us to 5:20. Sydney Fields joining us to talk about Game 3 of the Women's College World Series and our Red 7 Tees phone line text-in question of the day. We're going to gather up all the answers and go over those when we get Sydney on the line with us. But it's simple. I don't have a question for you guys today. It's who's going to win Game 3 of the Women's College World Series. Will it be the Texas Longhorns or the Texas Tech Red Raiders? Both teams vying for their first ever national championship ring and trophy. So great stuff there. It's been a great series to this point. We'll see. Will it be the $1 Million Lady in Nyjah Kennedy or the Texas Longhorns? Game 3 tonight of the Women's College World Series. Again, text those into the Red 7 Tees phone line at 850-215-6290. Who wins Game 3? We're going to be joining Sam Peoples in just a few short moments. And then Rice State Chris is going to join us for hour number 2, and we'll wrap up the show this afternoon talking about the college baseball super regionals. You know what was super for me last night, Caveman Rick?
I bet it had something to do with the basketball game that was on.
Yeah, so tell me how did some of your bets go last night?
Not the greatest, actually. I failed on one of them. I had a little parlay going where I was right about Halliburton and the under on his total points, assists, and rebounds. And I had SGA with the same thing, and I went on the over on his. He had to get 46.5. So basically 47. He got 46.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah, not so great.
Oh, it was a close one. But last night was a heck of a basketball game. The Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 1 of the NBA Finals were in complete control of that game for the entire evening. 99% chance to win that game. And the Indiana Pacers did what they've been doing this entire playoff run, which is stealing games. They're out there breaking the 10 Commandments left and right. You shall not steal. You shall not covet. And at the end of this series, hopefully, it's breaking. You shall not murder. This has been a lot of fun for me, and Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers played a heck of a game last night just to keep their nose down and just keep playing their brand of basketball when, honestly, as a Pacers fan, you've experienced this throughout the playoff run, and you're like, yeah, they have it in them, but do they have it in them against this OKC Thunder team? And then lo and behold, they keep fighting, get an opportunity with less than a second left, or about 7 seconds left. Instead of taking the timeout, Rick Carlisle trusts the Indiana Pacers. Obi Toppin passes it over there to Tyrese Halliburton, and boom, another game-winning shot, which I believe he's got 4 of those this playoff run, which it leaves him in a statistic all by his own. He got on the microphone with SVP last night after the game, and just this is how the Pacers continue to perform like this during these moments.
Gave me knuckles on the way in, so I'll give you knuckles here as you have a seat.
Yes, sir.
How do you describe the frantic last couple of moments leading up to the moment? Because you never led all night. You're down 15 in the fourth. This place is a madhouse. You guys never blinked. What's playing out in real time in all of your minds?
Just stay at it. You know, we're a resilient group. We just keep saying that to you guys. You know, you guys keep asking us, I keep giving you the same answer. We're a resilient group, and we don't give up till the clock hits 0. You know, so we do a great job of just staying in the moment. You know, trying to get it from 15 to 10, 10 to 5, 5 to 0. You know, and we just walk teams down. Really proud of this group.
I'm keeping notes here as this is playing out in the fourth. There were a couple of times where you got it to 4. Miles, who had a tremendous game, had a clean look.
Yeah.
It didn't go. I'm wondering, have they missed their chance? But then you got another chance, and I believe it was Neesmith at the rim.
Yeah.
No call in the other way. SGA gets a bucket. It's back to 5, and I'm wondering, did you miss your mark? But you guys don't blink, and I understand there's belief, but at some point, man, the clock, you start running out of seconds.
Yeah.
I guess at some point, I'm wondering how you all are able to continue to do this when the moments keep getting bigger and you all seem to get calmer.
Yeah, I think the way that normal people think, like you're talking about, we're going to run out of time.
So you're abnormal.
I just don't. I mean, no, we're human, but I just don't think we believe that until the clock hits 0. Like, truthfully, that's just how we believe it. And I think here's the thing: is like we've had to win in so many different ways all year. We've had so many weird wins during the regular season, during the playoffs. So why would that change? Because we're here in the finals. It's not changing. So we just keep staying at it and just keep believing it.
The notorious voice change there for Tyrese Halliburton. Caveman, real quick before we get over to Sam and transition into talking baseball, did Game 1 change your mind at all about how these NBA Finals will play out?
No, sorry to say for your boys,
Okay.
probably not. I mean, I'm not trying to be a downer or nothing, but I mean, we saw, what was it, all the way back in, what was it, 01? Back when Philly beat the Lakers in Game 1, and then we got, swept the rest of the way.
Yeah.
With Allen Iverson. So, I mean, you can win the first one, but, I mean, it doesn't mean you can win it all. So
I think it was the Detroit Pistons back in 2004 that were as big of an underdog as what the Indiana Pacers are. But we are the Afternoon Underdogs, and I am absolutely loving it. Let's get over to the phone line. Sam Peebles, creator and host of the Braves Dugout podcast. Sam, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Oh, we are doing well. Caveman, I didn't even get to ask you. How are you doing today, Caveman?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to hear you, Sam.
BC, Bone Crusher, you doing great?
What's up? Friday.
It is Friday. All right, Sam. I was going to start off with your all-star team. We'll move on to that. I was going to try to start with a more positive direction rather than just jumping straight into the negative. But let's start with the Atlanta Braves. Are the Braves cooked? I mean, tell me what you were feeling yesterday, Braves being up 10-4, and to give that lead up and to lose that game 11-10. Are the Braves cooked?
Man, yeah, I guess the biggest thing for me is just when you think that it couldn't get any worse, that happened. You know, like the thing is that the Braves offense couldn't do anything. The Braves offense couldn't do anything, but the pitching's been fine. But then the Braves offense finally does something, and then they still lose in like the worst imaginable way possible. And then on top of that, if you go back and look at it, Ketel Marte missed third base. That should have been an out and into the game.
Oh.
So it was like the worst possible scenario all around the board, and it was just bad, real bad.
Now, who does that fall on? Because it should have Snick. Did we already use our challenge up to that point, or why did that play get overlooked by the Braves coaching staff?
That's a good question. You know, it may have been that Freddie Gonzalez is brand new, hasn't been coaching third base for a while, and wasn't thinking to look for stuff like that, or it was such a big moment that no one was really focused on that. I don't know, and that's not it's not necessarily something that everyone is watching for every single time because it's Major League Baseball. It's not like you're playing rec league and you're looking for little things like that to try to take advantage of.
Yeah, I mean, that's it hurts a little bit. You know, I was asked today, like, do you think that Snitker is going to have his job throughout the season? And I if they're not going to fire him after what happened yesterday, and I'm not sitting here saying that Brian Snitker is the reason for this or that Brian Snitker could lose or should lose his job, anything of that nature, but I don't think that the Braves have any intention of moving on from Brian Snitker if they didn't after yesterday's game. Do you have any difference of opinion?
Yeah, I'm not one to fire a manager when things are going wrong, especially in baseball, because it's not like he's calling plays. But there comes a time where something has to happen, and to give the players or the fans a vote of confidence. And after the A.J. Smith-Shawver thing yesterday, there's just things piling on. Like they're going to have a scapegoat somewhere. And they can only fire so many third base coaches and things like that before they got to get to, Snitker at some point. I'd hate to see him go. I guess the best way I would say it is I'm thankful for all that he brought the Braves. I'm a big believer in things happen for a season, and I think that the season that Brian Snitker brought was an excellent season. It brought in a World Series.
Yeah.
It brought in a bunch of hype to the Braves fan base that we haven't had in about a decade, and he's a large part of that. He's been part of the organization for over 30 years, and we're thankful for that. But it might be time to bring in the fresh set of eyes.
I should have put in a futures bet for it before the season started and what I was thinking that, but I'm looking pretty good right now.
Chris Harmeyer, Cali man, says the Braves should sign him and all their problems would be solved. We'll be talking more with Cali man and Hollywood Hickman. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there is anyone more egotistical than the Cali man. Is there any chance, we're asking you about Snitker there, any chance that the Braves maybe not blow everything up, but could there be a surprise player that the Braves part ways with that wasn't on your radar at the beginning of the season?
Well, it'll be. I'm very intrigued to see, because they're in this weird spot where, yes, they've done terrible, but they've also been really unlucky. Like if you look at their run differential, they actually have a positive run differential, and you look at the Pythagorean theorem of it all, and their expected wins is like 31 or 32 versus their 27. They've got guys for pretty cheap on the roster. And Alex Anthopoulos has said that he's looking to be a buy at this moment in time, is looking at being a buyer rather than a seller. So unless things continue to go south, I don't foresee them being sellers. Now, they could do something crazy and try to prove that, hey, we're in this thing by making a big splash. They're very deep at catcher. But so they could make a move there. Any team would be happy to have either Sean Murphy or Drake Baldwin, But outside of that, all the other players on the roster, their value is like at an all-time low right now. So you're really going to trade a player when their value is at an all-time low? I don't think so. I don't see if they traded a player on the Braves right now, they'd be selling low, and that's not what Alex Anthopoulos does, and that's not what a wise GM does either. So it'll be interesting to see.
Can move Acuna. He's doing pretty good right now since he came back.
Yeah, there are such thing as untouchables, and he's definitely there.
I don't know. I thought we were talking at one point in time, like, if the Braves were to go out and do something like, make another run with him, like not being around or something, that might be a cue to move on. And then now he's back, and then look at how things are going. Maybe.
Well, it's not because of him. In fact, he's over the past 10 games, he's got a runs created plus of 173, which means that's 73% above league average. And guess who else has done fantastic over the last 10 games? Ozzie Albies, his best friend. So Ozzie Albies has a 143 over that span. So that means he's been 43% better than league average. So it's like Ronald Acuna. You get 2 for 1 when he's there.
I mean, I hear you. I'm just still saying,
This is what happens when you let a Phillies fan infiltrate the conversation. It's like, all right, well, are you sure you don't want to trade? There's no chance. Are you sure you don't want to trade Acuna?
You know what? I'll tell you what.
Depends on what you get for
Ronald Acuna. I'll trade you Ronald Acuna for Bryce Harper.
Oh, a straight up trade.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a dependable bat that's not going to tear both of his ACLs. I'll take it.
There you go.
Yeah, but he might get beamed in the elbow, might miss time or something too, so you never know. But yeah, I feel you. I mean, that's interesting though. I still want to take it though.
Sam, back to the Braves here with Raisel Iglesias. 8 saves on the year, but he's had 12 opportunities, blowing 4 of those saves. Should he still be the closer, or is there a guy coming up out of AAA that might try to retain that role from a decade ago? What do you say?
I do not foresee Kimbrel being the closer. If anything, I don't foresee that happening. There's a reason why he stayed in AAA for so long, but I'm very happy for him to be back. Now, as far as Iglesias goes, it's really tough because prior to this season, he was a top 3 closer over the past 4 or 5 years in all of baseball. So it's kind of like, do you stick with the guy knowing that he's good? But there comes, relievers have a shelf life, especially closers. So it's kind of like he's obviously reached that point to where maybe he should be dropped down into the eighth inning role, but there's not really anyone to truly replace him in that role. No one else on the squad has the elite stuff. There are good relief pitchers on the Braves, but none of them really stick out as like the guy. The only other guy that I could see that they could possibly put there is Dylan Lee, but he still doesn't have like the electric stuff to be a closer. So that's a tough one. I don't have an answer.
Is there anyone out there on the market that could be up for trade that you could see Alex Anthopoulos going after?
That's a tough one because Alex Anthopoulos, as we've come to learn to know, is he does not get into bidding wars. And closers are going to create a bidding war. So even if if we were to pinpoint a guy, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, because even when we got Raisel Iglesias, what was that, 3 years ago, that was one of the late moves, and it was surprising in and of itself, right?
Yes, it was. And that was strictly a salary dump at that point. So, that's the only reason they got him, because the Angels couldn't afford to have him anymore. And then the Angels didn't even use that money to keep Ohtani, so that's what's crazy. I don't know.
All right, I've got some start bench cuts for you. We're going to save the all-star vote for you. We're going to chat about that next week when we get you on. But who do you think will be the lead vote getter between American League and National League? No difference there. Who will be? Will it be Judge? Will it be Ohtani? Will Acuna sneak in? And he's on the ballot. So who will be the lead vote getter?
Well, I think it's going to be Ohtani because he's going to be getting votes not only from Americans, but he's going to be getting the Japan vote too.
All right, start bench cut here. I've got a current player, a star from the 2000s, and then a star from the 2010s. Let's go with speed here. We'll go with Ellie De La Cruz, your current player, Carl Crawford, your player from the 2000s, and then Lorenzo Cain from the 2010s.
Who am I taking?
Start bench cut. So you start one, bench one, cut one.
I will go with. I'm going to go with. I would probably start peak Lorenzo Cain. But that would have to be peak because there was a few years when he was just elite, but then there was other years where you could take him and leave him. So I'm going to go with peak there.
Yeah, all peak players here.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to start Lorenzo Cain and I will bench Ellie De La Cruz.
Cut Carl Crawford there. I'm a little partial to Carl Crawford just because of his time with the Rays back in the day. How about let's go with the catcher position, Cal Raleigh, Jorge Posada, or Buster Posey?
I'm going to start Buster Posey and bench Cal Raleigh there.
Oh, no Jorge Posada. Is that just hatred because he was a Yankee, or is there statistic deniability there?
I mean, he's a good enough catcher. I mean, I like him, but what does he bring that's better than the other two? I mean, you got Buster Posey, who's one of the best overall catchers of all time, and then you got Cal Raleigh that's a power threat off the bench. Why would you need Jorge Posada?
There you go. Let's go to the pitchers, and then I have a buy or sell for you. Zach Wheeler, Roy Halladay, or Clayton Kershaw. Start, bench, cut those fellas. Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's a tough one. Ooh. We're going peak here, so I'm going to start Clayton Kershaw just because in his prime, no one pitched like him. And then, Roy Halladay, was that, and Zach Wheeler?
Yeah, Roy Halladay, Zach Wheeler.
I'm going to go Zach Wheeler just simply because of he would pitch in the games later. That's probably, I mean, gosh, that was a tough one because Roy Halladay was something else.
And you know, there's Philly bias in both of those.
I'd start Halladay, I'd bench Wheels, and I'd cut Kershaw because Kershaw can't win in the postseason, really. So I'd like, when I want to, be able to go deep.
Well, we're talking for a full season here, so.
Ooh. Good point.
We're talking, yeah.
All right, buy or sell, then we'll let you out of here, Sambo. Bryce Harper's move to first base has extended his career.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it was the right move. When it came to his defense in the outfield, he was very streaky. He'd have 1 year that he was really good, 1 year when he was really bad. At first base, they've got him on this long contract. You might his bread and butter now is his bat, so let him stay on first base. He's going to be one of the better defenders on first base easily. And allow him to stay there and keep him healthy to swing the bat. I mean, I think that was a very wise move. That's one thing that the Phillies had always struggled with since Ryan Howard. They didn't really have a solid first baseman. I mean, you had Reese there for a little while, but it wasn't like he was elite. And once he was gone, they really struggled to find a first baseman. So Bryce Harper, I think, was the way to go.
Hey, there you go, man. Sam, thanks so much for your time, and have a great weekend, and we'll see you back in here next week.
Absolutely. Go Braves.
Go Braves. Chop on. That is Sam Peebles, host and creator of the Braves Dugout Podcast. It is that time again for the Best of Bay to keep your radio fun and positive in Panama City, Lynn Haven, Panama City Beach 38, and across Bay County. Go to ESPNPC.com and vote Ryan Mulvier, Coach James Hell for Best Radio Personality in the Best of Bay. And thanks for listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back with Jack Patterson.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Is that what happened to you?
It scared us to death. They're sneaky, they're fast, you can't get away from them, they're incredible. Anyway, what's that? Do that sound one more time.
Yeah. Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. A chance of thunderstorms and mostly sunny the remainder of the day with a gentle breeze coming out of the southwest at 11 miles per hour and temps near 87. Tonight we will have partly cloudy skies and be warm at 78. A possibility of thunderstorms in the morning and afternoon followed by mostly sunshine tomorrow and a high 85. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Discover the new Kia. We invite you to stop by Bill Bird Kia and test drive the new 2025 Kia. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The 2025 Kia SUV family has movement that inspires. Drive away today in a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. Fuel the thrill and command the road in the luxury of a 2025 Kia K5 sedan and from Bill Bird Kia. Performance, power, and design built for you. Spark inspiration in the all-electric 2025 EV9. It's a modern masterpiece, fast charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original home for the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Bill Bird Kia.
No one wants to deal with a plumbing, electrical, or HVAC emergency. It's even worse when you're not sure what it'll cost, when it'll get fixed, or if someone's just selling you something. When you call Hiller, you can trust our experts to actually solve your home's problems quickly. And with true transparency pricing, you know the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. Book online now at happyhiller.com. Happy you'll be, or the service is free.
On the happy face truck today.
Now is the time for Brave Country to cheer a little louder as the 2025 Atlanta Braves start chopping their way back.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley.
Tonight, the Braves head west for the weekend as Sean Murphy and company roll into Oracle Park to take on the San Francisco Giants.
Braves heading to the West Coast to take on the Giants. Pre-game 8 o'clock, first pitch 9:15. Your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. Hot takes, the latest trades, in-depth interviews.
That is my reaction.
We break it down for you right here.
Very big springboard for the rest of my career.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
That's the problem right there.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. We are live and local from the CBC Construction Studio. You can call them at 850-747-3815 or visit their website at cbcconstruction.com. This is the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. I'm David Hayes along with the Bone Crusher and our favorite guest of the year, Jack Patterson, along with Hollywood Hickman and I can't say his name, man. I can't say his name. Just can't do it. You look like a church window right now.
There's
the
a lot
Cali
of names.
man.
The legend, the champion, the man, fellow Californian, Flo Hickman. So we're taking over today. You got some real talent on the show. Should pop the big rating. Iger should be happy. I texted him right before I came in. He's talking to the Braves manager right now. I'll tell you what, you put me on center plate, or left outside, wherever they stand out there.
Left outside the stadium.
I'll be Hank Aaron before you know it. My cards will be worth more money than he ever was.
You would be as good as Hank Aaron would be in the box right now.
Oh man! You might be right about that.
Yeah. I feel. I've never seen you with
I'd be designated fielder.
Designated fielder.
Yeah, that's a new spot for me.
Cecil's toilet or something.
Yeah.
That's about where you would be at. Jack Patterson, Caliban, Hollywood Hickman in the building with us. This is my first time being in the studio with Hollywood Hickman. Definitely been able to meet you and see you wrestle. Always a class act, and love what you guys do for the community, especially when we're talking the benefits, but still putting your bodies on the line week in and week out whenever you're doing these shows. And for me, my favorite part, I'll say this every time, going to the benefits or going to any show, the crowd. That is what does it. That's why you guys do what you do, and it means the world to me. So, Caliman, welcome back. It's great to hear from you, Hollywood Hickman. Thanks so much for coming in. And so you guys are y'all tag team or something? Because you got to his defense a little too quickly, and I wasn't a big fan of that.
Hickman, you want to explain this, and I'll let you field this question.
All right. Well, long story short, me and Callie, man, different promotions, we've ran across each other, but there's always been an idea that maybe we should tag. The West Coast is the best coast, by far.
By far.
Okay.
So maybe a little Caliwood coming your way. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, buddy.
Look, Caliwood. Jack, what's going on, my man?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. You've been pretty busy this afternoon. Have all of you guys been together promoting today?
No, it's just been
I don't hang out with Jack Patterson.
Well,
for the record.
Hey,
this is his
I got
last
my
time.
I got my smoking hot wife. I got a lot of family listening, Jen, Harry, and none of them care about Jack Patterson.
I'm sorry, folks. If you hear anything on here might come out of Callie's mouth, you just have to ignore it because he's talking out of you know what. So we'll just leave it at that.
No, don't disrespect Cali Man like that.
Yeah, Hickman's right there. Look at Hickman. You see this man? Look at this specimen of a man sitting next to you. You're not gonna buy a ticket for me, which you probably are. Let's face the facts. Then you're definitely gonna buy a ticket for this guy. This man, look at the specimen right before me. You see this guy with the gold necklace?
Exceptional.
That's 42 karat gold right there.
Why do you think I didn't just jump in, starting talking trash to you? Because I was like, wait, hold on, I'm feeling the vibe here. You guys are a little too interwoven right now.
I'm gonna let the promoter promote the show, even though the show's probably already sold out because they seen Hickman and Cali Man on the poster. But go ahead, promoter, do what you got to do, Mr. Booker Man.
Absolutely,
Mr. Booker Man. So I can explain what's going on in the show tomorrow night and everything. Okay.
Free reign.
Here we go.
Okay. Tomorrow night at the Possum Palace in Walsall, Florida, we're having a great show. We're gonna have 5 good matches, and we're gonna have one main event. It's gonna be a Rumble in Walsall. I'm calling it. It's a Royal Rumble style match, and every so minute or so they're going to be coming out and be Royal Rumble at the end. But it's going to help Chase Hansen.
All right.
Because he had a major heart attack, and he almost didn't make it, but thank God he did make it, and he's still recovering basically, and the thing is, I talked to him the other day, and he said that he's got 85% block, 85% his aorta valve's not working fully, but they got to go back in and look at it later or something. He said, and but we have been doing a good cause for him, a heart attack. I know you usually on here, and I'm talking cancer shows and stuff, but I just want to help Chase with this. I just like to do benefits to help anybody. It don't matter what it's going to be.
Chase, when I first got into wrestling many moons ago, he was one of the first ones I started tying up with. He'd been in the business a few years by then. Not as many as, of course, Jack Patterson over here, because he's decrepit. He's Methuselah from the Bible, the oldest man alive.
That's a compliment. That's a compliment.
But Chase, on the other hand, he's only a few years older than me, so for him to have such serious heart problems, and they are serious, I didn't see much heart in him to begin with. So, it's a little bit of a shock. Caught me from left field a little bit. And I can tell you this, and I want to go on record on saying this. Nobody deserves to have a heart attack. But Chase Hansen's probably pretty close to deserving it, because he's always been a scumbag to me. All right. I'm not saying he deserves it, just for the record there. I'm not trying to get canceled off the internet again. Have to change my social media again.
That would be, third time in 3 years, right?
Yeah. You'd be shocked how many different names I've gone through. California Kid, Cali Man. Lorelei knows what's next. Cali Dad, Cali Grandpa.
Cali Grandpa.
But this
you're
show
out there, brother.
This show touches my heart because Chase Hansen.
Your heart, I get it. That's a good one, Jack.
I see what you did there, Jack.
Plug in the show.
There you go.
It touches my heart because Chase Hansen, in Chipley, Florida, when he was a little boy, he was growing up watching me wrestle and everything, and he wanted to be just like me, a wrestler. And it made me feel so good that I helped train him too, Chase Hansen. I helped train him. And this just means a lot to me on this show, because I just, basically like my son almost, because basically if you'd say, because I helped train him, and he's been knowing me since I was a little boy, and it made me feel so good. He wanted to be a wrestler like I was.
That's how Cali feels anytime I get in the ring, like a little boy.
That's how I feel about myself.
You feel like a little boy?
I feel like my hero when I was trying to be a wrestler was me. There was nobody else to look up to. Now I look up to Hickman. Because look at this man. This is a specimen of a man. If you people were here, this is why you don't allow women probably in this radio station. They'd be tearing down the walls to get this guy. So yeah, I'm just honored to sit next to Hickman and we get to talk to him. It's funny because even though this is in Wausau at the Possum Palace, which does have a legacy in wrestling, there's still great wrestling going on here in Panama City. There's 2 shows that run here on a regular basis. Like you said, we run different ones, but both offer something different. And I encourage wrestling fans to check out wrestling in all these areas. Go check out Hickman's show over there, XIW. Come check out the Guardians Legacy where I happen to hang out. And like I said, we should bridge that gap because we should all be supporting each other. Like everybody's going to support Chase Hansen, with the exception of maybe half-hearted me. Half-hearted. You like it?
Half-hearted. All right. This guy's funny today. Let's get over to the Red 7T's phone line. We've got Caden. Caden, you're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. As Chef Ross comments, he says, sounds like Cali Boy needs another diamond cutter. I agree with you.
I'm better chef than him. You check my
Ross.
Facebook. Look at my Cali cooking.
Caden, go ahead, brother.
Man, I'm so excited for tomorrow night. I'm so proud of Jackie. I've been seeing it everywhere. I hope the draw is good, but I want to see the Golden Spirit get eliminated from the Rumble tomorrow night.
Oh, I'll take care of that. Let's face it. You know something, Caden? I don't know how much wrestling you watch around here, son. You sound pretty young, so make sure you're staying in school. Don't do drugs. Number one, because that's the Cali Man's message to everybody. Number two is buy my merch. Give me money. Send it to me on Cash App.
Is that shirt
and
your merch?
This shirt costs more than your salary over here, pal.
Playing like Candy Crush over there.
I appreciate that, bro. But I can promise you this. Every battle royal I've ever been in my 20-year career, I mean, I've been in a lot of them. I've always made it to the Final Four, no matter what. And I usually win them. I've won notable battle royals. And Caden, I promise you, not only will I toss the Golden Spirit, but I will toss everybody else until it's only me and that man right there staring at each other in the face. And the Californian will win that Rumble in Wausau. I can promise you that.
Let me talk to the guy running the show and see how it happens.
Let's see.
It won't matter. The result's still going to be the same. It's going to be me and you.
Right here.
All right. What was he saying?
I think there was a little background noise going on. Caden, you got anything else for us?
No, I'm just so excited for tomorrow night.
All right. Well, we'll see if Cali Man can take out the Golden Spirit.
Y'all just go ahead and just
Come on, the Golden Spirit. He's a Jobber. You know what that means? Jobber in the wrestling business, buddy.
I'm confused when you start spelling. The eyes roll back.
He can barely spell ESPN.
Hey, I have a hard time with that one right there, man. Sometimes I get a little dyslexic and I'm saying it all backwards and whatnot. Jack, if there's people who can't make it to the show tomorrow night, how can fans support beyond just buying a ticket? Do y'all have any options or raffles people can participate in?
You can Venmo me if you just want to donate. Venmo me at capital JACK dash capital PATTERSON dash 57.
All right, there you go.
Or send it to me, and I'll make sure he gets it.
Yeah.
Every penny will be accounted for.
All right, see, we think alike, because I was just getting ready to say, you guys can send it to my Venmo. We'll make sure.
I trust Hickman. Give it to him. Absolutely. If you don't trust the Cali Man, you can trust him. Trust me.
I'll take care of you, Jack. Talk about some jobbers. We're
talking about the Braves again? What happened to them the other night, huh?
Front row is sold out already, and there's general admission left. And so y'all just come on out there. $12 for general admission, 5 and under is free. And just come on out there tomorrow night. Well, actually, the door's going to open at 4, and the show starts at 5.
All right.
And from 4 to 4:45, there's going to be a singer named Curtis Williams. He's from this area, and he's a pretty good singer. He sings country or gospel. He's sing pretty much both of it.
that y'all's cup of tea.
We're from California. I come out to Tupac, California Love, and you're talking about like country twanging singers. Come on, man.
We don't listen to that. You're an E40, Jack? Nah.
Well, we're in the South.
Too.
Hey, we're in the South right now, and country music is
trust me,
really
I can
high.
tell by the level of intelligence in the room that we're in the South.
Not that much besides on this side of the
Hey, we're from Southern California.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey. So we're from the South too, pal.
Yeah,
Well, you're getting all judgmental.
Well, that is something that we're good at around here, is being judgmental.
Not me.
Clearly.
That's what we do. For y'all, seriously, real quick before we go to a break and then we can get back into it, why do you guys think pro wrestling is such a powerful tool when it comes to these benefits?
Personally, for me, when it comes to the benefits and things like that, one, it brings the community together. 9 times out of 10, everyone knows who the individual who's having the issue or whatnot, so it brings the community together. And everyone understands the assignment that we're looking to help get this individual better at any cost. So it's very beneficial in the long run. On top of that, wrestling community, as Cali Man had said, it brings together various different promotions. It shows camaraderie with wrestling colleagues and things like that. So it shows a lot of positive these benefit
and
shows.
I think to add to that, because that's very well said from a Californian. And as another one, I would say this. In wrestling in general, if you take a step back from people who aren't wrestling fans who are just labeled as fake or whatever you want to call it, which I don't care. Those words don't offend me. Yeah. It's just a matter of like this. Marvel movies and things of such are not real. What? But you see, they get invested because there's great stories, there's great characters. You build on those characters and stories. You get people sucked in. Wrestling is really the only thing that I can think of that's immediate, besides like roller derby maybe back in the day, that's like you have a direct connection with your audience and with live. It's live, you know what I mean? Like you can tell those stories live, like a play almost in front of them, but with real athleticism, real violence, and it's real characters in front of your face. So like this, like Iron Man coming to life. Or in my case, whoever the most powerful one is. I'm not much of a geek comic book nerd like some of these listeners probably. I'm not a dweeb, so I don't know all these Marvel terms. But I can tell you this. If there was a superhero in the room, it'd be this handsome devil right over here.
Oh, man. Here we go. I'm passing it back to Cali, man. Cali, man, every time I see him, I'm like, that's the guy.
That's the guy.
I don't think there's another sport. And like in life, don't get me wrong, baseball, basketball, that's great and everything, but the stories are very, that they come few and far between. There's going to be good games. There's going to be blowouts where you want to turn it off by the third inning. But it's those real nail-biting games that you want to really watch, and those become the legendary things. In wrestling, we can provide that every single time.
Multiple times throughout the evening as well. Jack, what about for you?
I agree with Callie. I mean, I really do. I'm believe it or not, I do believe it.
Yeah, you're flabbergasted right now, ain't you?
He doesn't know how to talk.
I'm like, this come out of his mouth?
Yeah.
It doesn't change who I am, Jackie. I promise you that, just because I know a thing or two.
But no, I kind of agree because you come together and you helping somebody and like he was saying that people are doing the benefit for it. People know them. Like Chase Hansen, he wrestles with us, and everything. So he's basically done wrestling now. He said, so everybody knows him. Everybody knows him in his community, in his areas and stuff. They'll come out to support him tomorrow night and everything, and
put him out to pasture and say, "Hey, good job, kid." Give him the old pat.
Move along right out the door.
And it's like if I do it for somebody like it's not a wrestler like Brian. He was a wrestler. I did it for him.
Yeah.
Great crowd.
What we've done for a lot of kids that aren't wrestlers. And like even when it's not a wrestler, it means the same to the wrestlers that actually go do that. For me, of course, it's about the money.
You win all the prize
a lot of wrestlers, give up their winner's purse and their fee and stuff, or at least some of it and everything like that. But I just don't feel like that's right. I feel like I earned that money, and I didn't blow the guy's heart out.
Yeah,
you got to blame the Cali man. You gonna take money out of my table for that?
I'll give him $1 tomorrow night.
You didn't snort all that cocaine.
We be shooting on the radio now?
1, 2, 3. We're headed to a break. You're right.
Hopefully we'll be back on the air.
Oh, we will be. We will be. Both nostrils wide open. We'll be right back. This is the Afternoon Underdogs here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Wanted to reach out and smack someone?
Sit your ass down and shut up!
Call or text the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida with your rants, hot takes, picks, and takedowns.
This is unacceptable at the University of Alabama! This could go 7 games. You've got to have a bad game at some point.
The Red 70s studio line, 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida. Get in the game.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. A chance of thunderstorms and mostly sunny the remainder of the day with a gentle breeze coming out of the southwest at 11 miles per hour and temps near 87. Tonight we will have partly cloudy skies and be warm at 78. A possibility of thunderstorms in the morning and afternoon followed by mostly sunshine tomorrow and a high 85. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Experience a higher level of service. David Adamson Designer Jewelry has been providing you the very best of fine jewelry and repair in Lynn Haven for over 32 years. David has added Amber Anderson and Russ Klinger, names you've known and trusted in PCB for years with your fine jewelry and watch needs. Find that one-of-a-kind engagement ring, that special anniversary gift, or something colorful just for you. Amber and Russ will find it or build it for you, serving Bay County and beyond in Lynn Haven at the corner of Ohio Avenue and 9th. David Adamson Designer Jewelry.
Are you thinking of doing a fundraiser? Well, Krispy Kreme Donuts next to HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan says, let's raise some dough. Earn up to 50% profit with a Krispy Kreme fundraiser in-shop or online. So let's raise some dough. At Krispy Kreme Donuts next to HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan.
No one wants to deal with a plumbing, electrical, or HVAC emergency. It's even worse when you're not sure what it'll cost, when it'll get fixed, or if someone's just selling you something. When you call Hiller, you can trust our experts to actually solve your home's problems quickly. And with true transparency pricing, you know the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. Book online now at happyhiller.com. Happy you'll be, or the service is free.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Transmitting from the CBC Construction Studio. The next evolution in sports talk radio. It's the Afternoon Underdogs.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Make it so. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You got it.
We are back in the CBC Construction Doghouse. That is brought to you by CBC Construction. Call them at 850-747-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com for all of your construction needs. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch. You can like and share the Facebook feed and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also download the app and register. Just go to your Google Play Store or your Apple Store. Type in 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Texas and Texas Tech is in Game 3 of the Women's College World Series tonight at 7 p.m. So instead of a text-in question of the day, I just got who's going to win Game 3, Texas or Texas Tech. Text your answer in to the Red 17's phone line, 850-215-6290. We've got Jack Patterson, Callie Mann, and Hollywood Hickman in the building with us, getting you guys ready for the event tomorrow night at the Possum Palace for Chase Hansen. That's going to be tomorrow night. Jack, tell us about the times for this event.
Yeah, it's going to be at Possum Palace in Wausau, Florida. The doors open at 4 o'clock. Bell time's 5 o'clock. This is an earlier time than most shows start. Most shows start at 7, doors open at 6. But this one's at 4, doors open, and then 5 to kick off of the show.
All right, there you go. So we've got some questions, and I'm gonna I'm gonna ask the questions, and we'll go around the table here and get these guys' answers, and hopefully we won't have too much trash talk because I don't know how much I got left in me of just sitting behind this daggum desk, Callie, man, and it's really a large part because Hollywood Hickman's across the table on your side, and I know exactly what I'm going to get is a beatdown, but we're not we are at the beach, but we're not far enough on the beach for a beatdown at the beach right now.
And we both get paid to beat people up, so.
Yes, there you go. I get paid to run my mouth, that's about it. All right, let's dive into it, though. What would... I'm friends with you on Facebook for some unknown reason. I don't know why I haven't blocked you and deleted you a long time ago, but I see that you do some cooking every now and again, so it made me think of what would your wrestling finisher be called if it was based on your favorite food?
Oh, well, as a West Coaster, I'm partially favoring Spanish food.
Okay.
So we're going to go with the, the Cali Kickin' Burritos.
Oh, the Cali Kick a Burrito. So it's going to be like a super kick where you
with a burrito with the quarters rolled into it in my foot, so it knocks them out a little harder.
There you go. That is a Cali style.
That's a Cali burrito right there. You bet.
What about for you, Hollywood?
That's a good question. Very interesting. Of course, from California, so we're gonna go with the carne asada slap. That's what we're going to go
That's
with.
a spicy slap, let me tell you.
It's going to be very spicy. Very.
Follow me for more recipes.
Yeah. There you go. If you could team up with any fictional character for a tag team, who would it be and why?
Ooh, well, that's a pretty good question. I'd probably team up with the Invisible Man because I don't need anybody. If I ever had to pick a partner that's not fictional, that I know can get the job done, that's handsome, that's strong, that wears a gold necklace, that's sitting right next to me, I would pick this man right here.
What a kiss up, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Jack, come
The truth hurts.
Hollywood,
the same self.
Yeah.
The truth hurts.
How many times have you beat him in the ring in the squared circle for him to be talking like this?
We've never ever touched in the ring.
Ever.
Which is weird because we've wrestled, like I said, we sometimes were apart, but we have wrestled a few shows together and
but never against each
I think
other.
they're afraid of that, a match of that magnitude, just catch the roof on fire.
Wrestling Against Cancer.
Easy.
We just have Wrestling Against Cancer 10, right? So next year's 11. So the 12th. We're going to figure out a way for y'all to get in on the action against one another.
I would actually have, for once, they would provide me with an opponent of the caliber of me.
It's going to be a tough battle. I'm actually looking forward to it if that happens.
Yeah, but your question, who's the fictional guy you would team with?
Fictional guy.
Let's get back on track. I'll keep this thing rolling.
I'll put us 2 years in the future.
I'm a nerd, so I know you mentioned nerds and everything like that. If I had to pick somebody, I would pick either Goku or Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. Why? It's obvious if you know
the hair
series. The hair, number one, because the hair is cool.
Yeah.
Number two, we all know Goku beats everybody somehow.
Yep.
I'm more of a Vegeta guy, even though he gets kind of shorthanded, but those two would be my pick.
There you go. I'm not a big Dragon Ball Z guy. I didn't really know what you were talking about, but I always sound excited.
What's your favorite show?
Show? Sports. Anything sports. I do, well, I've been watching a lot of The Chosen lately, trying to catch back up on that. That's a great show.
It actually
That's a phenomenal show.
Finished that recently.
But let's see, all-time favorite show. We were talking about Full House the other day. So Full House, Family Matters, like those two go back to the 90s.
Full Matters, Family Matters.
But no, we somehow got onto that subject on the Inside Drive, and they started bringing up topics, and I was like, I can actually talk about this because I know this better than what I thought.
This show's turning into the Fresh Prince of Nowhere.
That's
right.
So we might as well give it
with the quickness. What's the funniest thing a fan's ever yelled at you?
Oh, I probably can't say that on the air.
Yeah.
Let me try to think of a PG answer for that.
Hollywood.
Oh, I remember I fought a guy named Nathan Beast, and it was his birthday, so a lot of his fans showed up, all two of them, and his family, and they had a sign. They made a sign, which a lot of these independent shows, especially locally, they don't really do the signs anymore. That was more of like, it seems like a 90s, early 2000s thing.
Do y'all miss that?
I always liked it because I would take the other hand and rip it up.
Yeah.
And it's just more fun for me. But either way, they had this it had to be an artist who did it because it was like my wife who can draw anything. And it was like a big steaming pile of poop. And it said, Callie eats poop. And I will be darned if that whole side of the audience didn't start chanting that at me during the match. And it really caught on. And the sign started following me around a little bit. And then I got a hold of the kid who got it, and it stopped. Trust me.
Did you make him eat poop?
I can't legally say what I
did. Well, what about for you, Hollywood Hickman?
Well, I've had a lot of different things said to me over the years of my wrestling career. I think the one that stands out the most was there was some guy, looks like he had about 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 cheeseburgers and fries and had the audacity to say I looked fat. And next to his wife. And I just kind of looked at him, and I looked at her, and I said, I'm sorry.
He was next to his wife and in front of her at the same time.
All around her, actually.
Yeah.
So.
She was just orbiting around him. She wanted, he probably, you could have said it to his face, but if you tried to say it behind his back, you'd have to use a half a tank of gas.
Oh, Lord. I told y'all to put the edit button on.
Hey, we always got to be ready to dump. Well, this is Cal Raleigh of the radio world, the big dumper, because everything that he says should have a dump button ready to go. What would you say to a fan that's attending their first ever wrestling show? They come up to you and ask you for advice before they buy their ticket. How do you sell them?
Oh, well, I mean, if I was selling, there's a difference. Let's start here. Let's say we're selling it to them. I would go along. I'd go along the same lines as I said earlier. I would just tell them, be like, listen, if you've never given, don't go into it with a negative mindset of thinking like, oh, I'm just going to watch the fake wrestling show. Go into it knowing what you're going to see, which is pure God-given talent entertaining you in that ring, and like you said earlier, sacrificing our bodies, which is something that we do. Because you can call it fake all day, but I dare you to get in there and take one fall in that ring and tell me how fake it really is. Because I'm telling you, the physicality is something else, and it's explosive movements. It's very easy to get injured. However, if a fan directly came up to me as I was walking into a show, they had the audacity to walk up to me, the star of the show, and be like, "Oh, Mr. Callie, you know, why this wrestling stuff?" I'd be like, "Get out of here, kid. Where are your parents, man? Do you have parents? Probably not. Who could love you? Look at you. Now get out of my face. Go get a big fat hot dog from the snack bar and turn into that guy later on in life that Hickman was talking about, because that's probably where he's going to end up." And tell him to buy a T-shirt. Yeah, and buy a Hollywood Hickman T-shirt, and then you can come talk to me. That's what I tell him.
You need a T-shirt for the password. What's the password? Go buy a T-shirt.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm just kidding. I have no refunds. I'm not talking to you.
I want to add to what you're saying about putting your bodies on the line and everything. My old tag team partner, God rest his soul, he's gone now, but he told me he got more injuries from wrestling than he did football.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Well, you're not purposely getting tackled in football. Let's keep that straight. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you know what you're getting in for. In in football, you could be a quarterback who maybe only gets sacked every now and then. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's these different kicker. You know what I mean? Like, but in wrestling, you know what you're signing up for. You're signing up to get slammed. You're signing up to get punched and kicked, and you're signing up for a very dangerous sport. And that's why, it takes a certain somebody to do it and to keep doing it. And the mental games is just sometimes tough as the physical ones, man. So, I mean, that's why you should always call it what you want. You want to call it fake, it's not for you. I can understand that.
I mean, what it takes beyond just the GGT, the God-given talent, and the athleticism. I mean, you have to be able to sell everything. I mean, there's
a lot of intricacies that go into it. And
people have no idea.
And athletic-wise, think about combining basically every sport you got.
Yeah, and then people, it's not like I don't even want to dive into it, but just from being able to have the behind the scenes that I've been able to have is like, if people out there thinking like everything is just scripted out to some T or no, it's not like that.
Got the wrong idea.
And it does not feel great taking a bump in that ring, but man, if you don't go to watch the wrestling, go to watch the crowd. That is, I mean, to see, yes. And then next thing you know, you're going to see everyone chanting. And then what are you going to do? You're going to be chanting right along with them. Michael, over there in Dothan, Alabama, you are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. What's going on, Michael?
Hello, I'd like to say that I'm excited for Chase Hansen's benefit event over in Walsall tomorrow night. And I also like to say, to point out a spoiler alert tomorrow, and I know Mr. David Hayes would not like me saying this, but I'd like to say that the Cali man is going to win the Rumble in Walsall tomorrow night.
Oh, my God, somebody from Alabama who knows what they're talking about.
I know, right? I know.
This kid, I mean, get this kid a college degree because he's a smart kid, and I'm telling you right now, kid, you're right. You're betting on the right guy, but I can tell you if you're going to place a secondary bet, then you might want to place one on Hickman because, like I said, it's going to be I guarantee you a Californian's going to win. I hope it's me, but if it comes down to me and this handsome devil right here, may the best man win.
Absolutely. Michael, I just want to point out for the fact that I'm glad that you picked Hallie Man as your number one pick.
Well, no hate towards you because who knows? There may be a double winner, double slammer right there.
Could we get his call draw and shake hands?
That's more like it.
Go have some mojitos.
Carne asada.
There we go.
Hey.
Carne asada slap that last guy out of the ring.
Hey, if that comes down to y'all two, guess what? y'all gonna wrestle. We ain't gonna be disqualifying nobody.
Why don't you get in there and tell us that tomorrow?
Why don't you get in there with that, huh?
Hey, I can still hang with you, big boy.
Oh yeah, you're gonna hang it off the top rope.
You mean hanging upside down?
Yeah. I still got a little in me.
Yeah, very little. I understand.
That's all right. We'll beat it out of you.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael, thanks so much for the call. We are up against a break. Anything that you guys want to say before we get out of here?
No, just come out tomorrow night, 4 o'clock, doors open, bell time is 5 o'clock. Come on out, enjoy. $12 general admission, $500 free. And I want to thank my sponsors, ESPN Northwest Florida, Southside Bingo in Graceville, Red 7 Tees in Crestview, Wise Fly Glass in Chipley, and First Impression Cleaning from Burning.
And Tees is a T-shirt company I found on Not Like Tea to Drink, so that's good.
Yes.
And one last sponsor you forgot, me.
Oh, yeah, and let's not change this. Chase Hansen was a scumbag, but come out. It's for a good cause. Don't hold it against him. He's a scumbag, but don't hold it against him. Come out for the great cause.
There, you heard that from Cali, man. My goodness, so we are going to have to get him straightened out. Maybe we can get Hollywood Hickman to join forces with the ESPN side of things and take care of business against the Cali Punk next time at Wrestling Against Cancer. You guys are ready with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Hour number 2 is going to get kicked off with Chris Gollum. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
Tonight, the Atlanta Braves are at Oracle Park to face the San Francisco Giants.
2-0 pitch all the way to Harris, and he blasts one high in the air, deep right field, and buried into the seats.
We're staying up past our bedtime for the Atlanta Braves on the West Coast. Coverage coming up at 8, first pitch, 9:15. Listen in ultra high fidelity on your spot for the A.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. Partly cloudy tonight with a gentle breeze at 8 miles per hour out of the west-southwest and temps near 79. Tomorrow morning, we will have possible thunderstorms and some sun and be very warm at 86. A likelihood of thunderstorms and mostly sunny in the afternoon and evening and a high 87. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? If competitive pricing and a quick turnaround are what matter to your business, come see us at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions. Or you can give us a call at 850-326-3000. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport. The best place in town to take a leak.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Now is the time for Brave Country to cheer a little louder as the 2025 Atlanta Braves start chopping their way back.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley.
Tonight, the Braves head west for the weekend as Sean Murphy and company roll into Oracle Park to take on the San Francisco Giants.
Braves heading to the West Coast to take on the Giants. Pre-game 8 o'clock, first pitch 9:15. Your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. From the pros to the future pros. We're your home team station for home team sports. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. It is hour number 2 of the Afternoon Underdogs. Big thanks to Jack Patterson, Callie Mann, and Hollywood Hickman for stopping by. The benefit event tomorrow night for Chase Hansen is going to be at the Possum Palace. Doors opening up at an earlier time than usual at 4 p.m. Bell time at 5 p.m. Admission is $12. Kids ages 5 and under get in free. Tickets are now available via Venmo at Jack Patterson, Jack-Patterson-57. All proceeds go to Chase and his family for medical expenses. Thank you guys for nominating the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey and the Coach Hale Show in the morning as your favorite radio show and in the Best of Bay from the News Herald. We're on a mission to be hyperlocal, serve the community, and provide our residents and visitors an exciting and entertaining space. To keep your radio fun and positive in Panama City, Lynn Haven, PCB 30A, and across Bay County, go to ESPNPC.com and vote Ryan Mulvey or Coach James Hale for best radio personality in the Best of Bay. And thanks for listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Also, vote for Carla and Adam Goff. Bite Me Custom Cookies. Bite Me Custom Cookies. So, yeah, anyone involved with the family here at ESPN Northwest Florida, let's vote them in. Let's get Rice Day Chris in the building with us. Rice Day Chris, what's going on, my friend?
Oh, just enjoying a wonderful Friday. If you can't tell, work dragged on a little bit, but it's all good. I'm here now, and it's beautiful out.
There you go. We'll be talking a little college baseball at 5:40. What did you have anything?
No, just work. You know, he was thinking like I know the grind.
The grind.
Have any of the supers started yet, or are they not
North Carolina and Arizona did. I believe North Carolina scored 5 runs before they even recorded an out earlier on today, but I don't know anything beyond that. We're going to get over
that pick.
Hey, there you go. We're going to get over to the Red 17's phone line. We've got Chris Gollin, an MLB writer, on the line with us. Chris, what's going on?
Not too much. What's going on with you guys?
Oh, we are just ready to talk about the grind of a sport, which is Major League Baseball, and some not interesting news, bad news. Bad news for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Corbin Burns just went down. Looks like he'll be out for the season. What does that mean for the Diamondbacks, Chris?
I mean, this is just the last thing they wanted to hear. Of course, no one wants one of their star pitchers to go down, Tommy John, but this is a pitching staff that's the 7th worst in the MLB in ERA. They were expecting durability out of Corbin Burns. He has at least 28 starts in each of the last 4 seasons. Everyone kind of held their breath when he exited last week against Washington and went on the 15-day IL. So, I mean, this is something that's going to hit any team hard, but there are not many teams who are hit harder by something like this than the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, tough for them. And I know you wanted to talk about what happened yesterday, just to add a little insult to injury for the Atlanta Braves here in Braves country. But no, what did you think of that debacle yesterday, that debauchery yesterday by the Atlanta Braves and the Diamondbacks for the positive side of things with their big win?
I mean, it's nothing short of historic. It's not just an incredible game, but I did some research, and according to Baseball Reference, the Diamondbacks were down to a 0.08% chance to win, making that the 14th most unlikely comeback in the history of baseball. Arizona, in their history, had been down 6 runs or more in the 9th inning 419 times. They've never won any of them. And then all of a sudden, on number 420, they get the job done. So I think it was Yogi Berra who said it ain't over until it's over. And that is why, you look at these guys in a blowout in the 9th, taking competitive at-bats, fouling off pitches, and you think, how are they even in the mentality of grinding at it like that? Well, this is why. That's because for every 419 times that you lose, there's that one that you win, and who knows, that might be the one game that gets you into the playoffs.
There you go. That's a good way to put it. Also, for the Guardians, Shane Bieber, he's had a little setback as well. What does that mean for the Guardians?
Well, the Guardians are another one that are on the razor's edge. They really do not need a lot more setbacks. They are giving up more runs than any team in their division this year, with the exception of the Chicago White Sox. And when you say with the exception of the Chicago White Sox, that's really kind of, So
it's loose. We're using that term loosely.
Yeah. So for Shane to be shut down for a week from this point, not the world's worst news. It's not Corbin Burns level bad news. But this is a team that definitely could use him back and use that bolster to their rotation if they're going to hang with Detroit, Minnesota, and Kansas City in the long haul here. So, yeah, not what Cleveland wanted to hear either.
You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Right now we're on the line with Chris Gollin. What American League teams have had a bad week, and who's had a good week?
Well, I wrote down 3 for each. I think the best week in the American League, it's pretty hard to argue, would be the Baltimore Orioles. They're on a 6-game winning streak, 2 straight sweeps of the White Sox and Mariners. They've won 8 out of their last 10. They do have a little ways to go to get themselves back as a contending team after how slow that start was, but just a really, really great week for the Orioles. The Rays now have a wild card spot after sweeping the Rangers. Great week for them. The Yankees won a series against Cleveland, and they're moving on to a faltering Boston team now, so good for them. As far as the bad, the Athletics, any hope we had that the Athletics were maybe a little better than anticipated, it should now be dead. The Red Sox are fumbling when all 4 of their division opponents are firing on all cylinders, so that's really bad timing. And then I'd say the Rangers had a tough week, too. They got swept by Tampa Bay, and they're losing ground in the AL West, which is a fairly competitive division.
Wow. All right. Which direction do I want to go? All right, let's go into 3 topics that you wanted to dive into. And the Rockies. We already talked about the Diamondbacks and their comeback, but the Rockies, 22 series into the year, finally winning their first series by way of a sweep. What do you think of that, and what does that mean moving forward for the Colorado Rockies?
I mean, number one, I'm just so happy for those Colorado fans. They're such a faithful fan base, and they're sticking out a really miserable season. So great to see it for them. It's their first winning streak of the year. It's their first time winning multiple games in a series this year. Given it was against the Marlins, so it's not as if they were taking down a powerhouse here. But you know what? The Rockies starters went at least 5 innings in 2 out of those 3 games. And if the pitching can give the offense even a slight chance, is the make or break for this year's Colorado team. Their aspirations aren't too high, but like I said, good for them, good for the fans, good for the morale.
Panic meter. We've got 2 teams here in the American League. What is the panic meter looking like for the Boston Red Sox right now in that tough AL East?
I'm going to put Boston at a solid 8 out of 10 on the panic meter. I don't know if we're doing a scale of 10, but that's what I did.
1 to 10.
Yeah, so they are 4.5 games out of the wild card. And like I said, every other team in the AL East is really firing off right now. So they do not need to be tripping at the moment. And they've won only 3 out of their last 10. So, yeah, Boston really needs this to not be a lengthy slump.
And then how about the Kansas City Royals, who have started playing a little bit better now? They're 3 games above 500, but they are 7.5 games behind the Detroit Tigers for the American League Central. What is their panic meter looking like?
I don't think the Royals need to be worrying about the division lead too much. Given that they're only 1 full game out of the wild card, I'm going to put it at maybe like a 4 out of 10 for them. I'm confident in their ability to compete with the likes of Minnesota and Cleveland down the stretch. So, really, they are in 4th place, but I do think things could be a lot worse for the Royals, and I don't think they're quite as bad as they look.
We'll go over to the National League. I've got 2 teams for you here. We'll start with, actually, I'm going to do 3. Let's go to the Cincinnati Reds first.
Let's see. The Reds are, as far as their panic level, I'd say we're probably getting up at around a 7. At this point, they're not sustaining any kind of hot streak at the moment. They're slipping behind. The Brewers have rebounded, and the Reds have not come with them. The Cardinals seem like they might be
good down the stretch, better than they were last year for sure. And whereas some of their opponents are surging, or in the case of the Cubs, just holding where they were, the Reds are not following along. So, yeah, I'd say that's like a 7 out of 10 for them.
All right. Then we just talked about them. We talked about both these teams. Let's go with the Braves next. 27-34, 11 games out of first place in the National League East. Panic meter for our Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, that's going to be a 9. I'll say that's a 9. You can't be 11 games out as the Braves in June. You can't be behind the Nationals in June. You cannot be below 500 in June. Now, the year that they won the World Series there, they did have a really, really strong resurgence in the second half. So I'm not putting the nail in the coffin on them yet. I'm not burying them. But, that doesn't happen every time. You can't count on that every year. So I would be really concerned of what the heck is going on with Atlanta. Why have they not corrected to what we figured they should be capable of?
Yeah, the math ain't mathin'. And then finally for the panic meter, Arizona Diamondbacks sitting at 500, just swept the Braves on a 4-game win streak, but just lost Corbin Burns. What is the panic meter there?
That's going to be another one that's like a 7 for me. It could be higher, but I almost feel like when you think of the word panic, I don't really think Arizona was supposed to be a down-the-stretch, tough, tooth-and-nail contender for this division. If they were going to compete, it was going to be an exceeding expectation. So maybe a Diamondbacks fan would feel otherwise, but I feel like when you weren't even necessarily supposed to be a big heavyweight, seeing it all kind of falter here. I don't know if it instills quite the same panic as a Red Sox or a Braves situation, but yeah, I mean, the fact that they have been seeming like they've been capable of it, and now the wheels are coming off, yeah, probably about a 7.
Hey, Chris, this is Chris as well. So I'm going to throw a hypothetical at you. If you were to stop the season right now, which 2 National League teams would you want to see face each other in the playoffs, and which 2 American League teams, and how would those matchups go in the eventual World Series?
That is a great question. The National League, I think your dream NLCS at the moment is going to be the Dodgers versus the Cubs. The Dodgers, you can pretty much pencil in. And the Cubs are just, as the season's gone on, I'm more and more convinced they're the real deal. They have the best run differential in the National League by a good margin. I think that's one where the Dodgers feel like they should be heavyweight favorites, but the Cubs, they have a better record, and I just really, really like them in that situation, that scenario. The AL, I think a Yankees-Tigers ALCS is looking like it would be electric. A Game 1 situation of Skubal versus Fried would be must-see TV, that pitching matchup. And then as far as making the World Series, I would honestly predict, I think the Dodgers make it again. And then I'm a Yankee homer. I really, really want to say the Yankees. And it's close. It's so close between Yankees and Tigers. But to make it interesting, I'll say Detroit gets in there for the first time in about 10, 11 years.
Do you really think the arms power them through, or do you think that Detroit can produce a little more than what they have been?
I think Detroit's run production is a little, it's not quite as bad or as much of a problem as it's been made out to be. You're seeing Spencer Torkelson finally showing some signs of power this year, and they have only scored 9 fewer runs this season than the Yankees. So I do feel like they can hit. They're not at all like a pitching heavy team like they're made out to be, and I think if their opponents underestimate their offense going down the stretch, I think that's going to be. They don't need much of a window, I think, to get it done. If you let your guard down against that offense too long, I do think the Tigers can hit their way into the World Series.
And then where in the National League are the Phillies on your list?
Way down there. I think there's 15 teams in the National League. I think Chris had them at 14 or 13, somewhere around there.
The Phillies are they're close. I really, really like what I'm seeing from the Phillies this year. They're in a rough spot right now, but I think a big reason why I can't say they're a World Series favorite is they're in a tougher division battle than either the Cubs or the Dodgers. Right? I mean, right now they're a game and a half out. They've got to take care of the Mets.
Do you think that and
Mets take care of themselves?
Do you think that the tougher divisions have the relievers' arms, the pitchers' arms? Do you think tougher divisions cause the pitchers' arms to be dragged down? And that kind of goes to my college too. Like, do you think like SEC pitchers are more dragged down by the end of the year because it's a tougher league?
Well, there's certainly something to be said for that. And I think what it really comes down to is if the team has built enough bullpen depth, sure, I think you can overcome that. The bullpen is going to be, you're not seeing as much of a trend of bullpen injuries and bullpen wear and tear as you are with starters in the MLB right now. So I do think the Phillies are relatively well equipped in that department. But they could be better. The Mets pitching, I think, is a little bit better down the stretch from what the numbers are showing me. But, it's almost a coin toss of who wins that division for me.
You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. We are on the line with Chris Gollin. He is a MLB writer. Manfred has came out and said that they are looking at going to the automatic ball strike system in 2026. Chris, what are your thoughts? Will we be using the ABS system in 2026? And how do you feel about the automatic ball strike system?
Number one, that is a very wonderfully timed distraction from the news that he admitted that the president influenced his decision to reinstate Pete Rose. So I'll just get that out of the way. But, it looks like the competition committee has enough votes to implement this for next year. It's important to note this is not robo-umps. Robo-umps is when there is no human element. This would, presumably the way this would be implemented is that teams would have 2 challenges per game on a ball strike call. The pitcher, the catcher, or the hitter can call it. You don't lose a challenge if you get it right. I think it could be a really good addition to baseball because, we see in high leverage moments, no one likes it when a whole series comes down to, especially in the playoffs, a series comes down to a bad ball and strike call. It's incredibly difficult. It's just so hard to make that call with the naked eye as an umpire. So I welcome the implementation of ABS, not out of disrespect for the umpires, but out of respect. Just help them out a little bit. Let some of the mistakes that they are going to inevitably make not, change the course of history so much as they have been all this time.
Yeah, I think we kind of share the same sentiments with you, and we'll be having this conversation a whole lot as we get ready for next year. But we still got a lot of baseball to play this year. Chris, we are out of time for the segment. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll catch up with you and your thoughts next week, my friend.
Absolutely. It's always such a great time being here. Thank you for having me.
There you go. Great stuff, Chris Gollin. He is a MLB writer, also a writer for RJ Starcevic over there at Motor Stardom. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to do a little Women's College World Series action with Sydney Fields. Then after that, we're talking college baseball with Wright State Chris. Keep it locked in here to the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Come on vacation.
Summer vacation. Hey, how's your vacation going?
Leave on probation.
Sheriff's deputies in Panama City Beach arresting 161 people during an out-of-control spring break weekend.
Welcome to the Emerald Coast. Have a great time on the beautiful beaches, but not like end up in the back of a police cruiser great. A friendly reminder from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. Partly cloudy tonight with a gentle breeze at 8 miles per hour out of the west-southwest and temps near 79. Tomorrow morning, we will have possible thunderstorms and some sun and be very warm at 86. A likelihood of thunderstorms and mostly sunny in the afternoon and evening and a high 87. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now to learn more.
800-605-4650. 800-605-4650. 800-605-4650. That's 800-605-4650.
No one wants to deal with a plumbing, electrical, or HVAC emergency. It's even worse when you're not sure what it'll cost, when it'll get fixed, or if someone's just selling you something. When you call Hiller, you can trust our experts to actually solve your home's problems quickly. And with true transparency pricing, you know the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. Book online now at happyhiller.com. Happy you'll be, or the service is free.
Happy face truck today.
Now is the time for Brave Country to cheer a little louder as the 2025 Atlanta Braves start chopping their way back.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley.
Tonight, the Braves head west for the weekend as Sean Murphy and company roll into Oracle Park to take on the San Francisco Giants.
Braves heading to the West Coast to take on the Giants. Pre-game 8 o'clock, first pitch 9:15. Your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. Now back to the most dangerous afternoon show on terrestrial radio.
It's dangerous.
It's illegal in 5 states. The Afternoon Underdogs. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
I know. I'm in that future.
We're back in the Doghouse. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. We are live. We are local. From the CBC Construction Studios, you can call them at 850-747-3815, or you can visit their website at cbcconstruction.com. We're going to go right back to the Red 7T's phone line. We've got Sydney Fields. She writes for Sport and Story at Hogs Plus there. Sydney, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing great. Getting ready for Game 3 of the Women's College World Series tonight between Texas and Texas Tech. And we've got a little poll going, and it seems overwhelming that our listeners want to see Texas Tech go out on top tonight. A lot of people in the comments are saying the Texas Tech pitcher. And it's like, by this time, have you guys not got her name down? I mean, come on. She's already got $1 million deals, and one of those happening today, a 7-figure deal for Nigeri Kennedy. Tell us about the latest and greatest happening there with the Texas Tech pitcher.
Yeah, it's insane to have a deal like that in softball. It's the first, last year's was the first of its kind, but it's really cool to see it again this year. It just shows that they're still investing in it, and they're investing in her, and I think it'll be maybe not the whole $1 million, but high prices will start to be seen across the country in softball programs, and I hope it is.
Yeah, would you say that the transfer portal and the NIL, well, maybe not the NIL yet, but seeing what Texas Tech has done with the NIL, would you say that it might be that in that sport the transfer portal has worked the best to kind of change the hands of power?
I mean, yeah, we see, this year Oklahoma's gone. You have Texas and Texas Tech playing in the finals, which Texas has been there. They haven't won it yet, but they have been there a couple times. But just the different teams that were there this year, you really got to see the parity, and a lot of that was because of the transfer portal.
Yeah, it's been insane to watch, and there's been a lot of great series, and even in college baseball, we're seeing a lot of great upsets over there. What have you seen from games 1 and 2 of the series so far, Sid?
It's been a battle. Pitchers duels. Texas is, when they're down, they try to get back ahead. They did it in game 1, and then they tried to last night in the 7th inning, but Kennedy closed it out, and it's just insane watching her pitch every single pitch of the Women's College World Series. I mean, you don't see that. And she said something like, they had asked her if she was tired and whatever, and she said, I have all summer to rest. Right now I'm trying to win a championship. So her in the circle, that's really been the main story there. But Texas Tech is battling with their bats, and that's really what I've seen.
So, sorry, my name's Chris. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, Chris.
And I play college baseball, so I know a little bit about pitching. But can you explain, like, the nuance with Kennedy and what differentiates her between other stud pitchers that the programs has? Is it just her speed? Is it a little bit of everything? Is it her mental? Like, what about her makes her the most dominant pitcher that we've seen in a while? And you can even disagree. You could say someone else is a more dominant pitcher. You've been following the sport way more than I've had. But what makes her different?
You're absolutely correct. She is different, and I don't think it's mostly physically. I think it's probably 80% mentally. She has that dog in her, literally. She just has the leadership mentality. She gave up a pitch on an intentional walk, and after the game in the press conference, she blamed it on herself, said the loss was on her. I mean, she just has the leadership mentality, and she has the mentality that she's going to be the one to have the ball. She's going to be the reason that they win or the reason that they lose, and she's not blaming everyone else. And I think I'm sure she has a fantastic conditioning set up, but she also has a torn meniscus.
Ooh.
They announced at the beginning of this national championship series she had been playing on a torn hamstring or torn meniscus for about 9 weeks, and she's just pushing through it.
Goodness gracious, that is insane. You said she's got that dog in her, and one of the things that the kids say these days is Himothy. Well, what about for a softball pitcher? Is that Hermothy? Is that Hermione? What do y'all say? What's the female version of Himothy?
I think she's just her. All caps, period.
She's her. Which team would you say is more hungry to win in Game 3 tonight, Sid?
I really think Texas Tech is more hungry to win. I think their coach really wants it. I think Nyjah really wants it. Texas is also, like I said earlier, they've been battling to get ahead every game this series, and they've really been great in Oklahoma City this whole last week or whatever it's been. But I don't know. I just think Texas Tech, I think they have, the fans there. They have the Mahomes family there. And I think there's a lot of energy towards them.
You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. On the line with us right now is Sydney Fields on the Red 7 Tees phone line. Only the 7th time in the Women's College World Series that it's went to Game 3 since this format started back in 2005. Which team would you say just this year has been better in the big moments? You got Texas Tech playing in the Big 12, Texas playing in the SEC. Both of them had to play games against Oklahoma. Which team has been better in big moment situations?
I'm going to say it's been Texas. They just played phenomenally against Oklahoma last weekend, and they've, come back all season. They had a really bad slump towards the end of the season, and the way that they've battled back from that and really come up in the big moments has been really, really cool to watch. And their coach has got to want it really bad. He's been there so many times, and he's never been able to win it. So I think they can come back in the big moment.
Give me an X factor for each team tonight, not the stars, but someone who is going to need to have a big game, aiding the superstars of the team for them to win.
I would say for Texas Tech, it's got to be their whole lineup. They've got to have the offense there to support Kennedy. They've had low runs all College World Series long, and that's kind of been their weak spot. Kennedy's held the other teams to very low runs as well, but they really need that offense to step up tonight, facing a Texas lineup that has seen Nigeria already twice.
What about for Texas?
For Texas, I would say their lineup's also has to attack. I'm not too worried about their pitching staff. They have a great pitching staff. And like I said, Texas Tech's bats haven't been very good this whole tournament, but I think their bats just have to be better than Texas Tech's bats, and they have to figure out Kennedy and figure out how to attack her and beat her.
I like to look up historical things and try to get a little better understanding of a sport. What are some other pitchers from previous? Jenny Finch is the only one that ever comes to mind, but older pitchers, let's say 10, 20, 30 years ago, that you witnessed that you would say would be relatively in the same pantheon as Kennedy.
Oof, that's a tough one. Jordy Ball, her freshman year at Oklahoma, I guess that was 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago. She walked in the circle, and it was like game over. That's how people felt, and the way her stance is in the circle and her windup, like she crouches down real low and just intimidates the heck out of you. So she was one that people were really, that's probably the most recent that I would compare to this year's Kennedy.
There you go. All right, let's dive into the coaches. Sydney, who has the edge in the Department of Coaching tonight for Game 3?
Mike White of Texas, he's got the experience. Like I've said 1,000 times, he's been there. He just hasn't won it. But I think kind of the whole country that's been tuned in has really learned to like Jerry Glasgow at Texas Tech. It's hard not to cheer for him. Just his demeanor and the way he takes care of his players. And he's pretty aggressive on the base pass, too. Calling that steal of home against UCLA to beat them. And Sam Landry was his pitcher last year at Louisiana, and she's at Oklahoma now. But they cried together after Texas Tech beat Oklahoma. He's just a coach that is hard to root against. So I like him a lot, but Mike White definitely has the experience.
And one final one for me, and this is more about the professional softball. With Major League Baseball investing money into professional softball, do you think we're going to see more of a game? I remember watching the Olympics, and it was always on until they took it off. It was always Japan versus USA back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Do you think that something that a TV market's going to start consuming more? Do you think this is it? Do you think it's going to take a couple more iterations? Where are you at on professional softball?
I absolutely hope that this league is the one that sticks around. I hope that eventually they can make more teams out of it. I think there's 4 right now, 4, 5, or 6 right now, and they're not city-based; they're just their team name. So I think, for it to be taken more seriously, I guess you could say you got to have locations there, and a more formal season. They're going to play for about 2.5 months this summer, but I think it's awesome. There are some really, really good players in there, and the MLB investing in it is huge. Bree Ellis of Arkansas, she said, whenever she got the golden ticket to be a USL player, that she grew up hoping that she could just play college softball. There wasn't professional softball, and she hoped that the next generation coming up can say, I hope to be a professional softball player, because it gets that big.
Which other countries are still big in softball, and would they bring them over here to the United States for professional softball?
Japan is still a really big one. In the past years, before Athletes Unlimited really invested in softball, a lot of college players were going over there to play because they pay really well. So maybe Japan could have some teams coming over, but we'll see. ESPN is pretty invested in streaming the games on their networks, and then the MLB TV signed all of the other games that aren't on ESPN networks, so hopefully the traction will be big this season and they can continue on.
Need to get the Saudis involved. Like live.
Throw that money around,
That's
yeah.
it.
Sydney, give us your score prediction for the game tonight. Texas Tech, Texas, Game 3, Women's College World Series. What is it going to be?
I'm going to say Texas Tech wins in a 3-2 game.
Texas Tech 3-2?
Yep.
Texas Tech 3-2. I love it. I'm trying to count up how many Texases we got. Looks like 3 Texases and at least over 15 Texas Tech. So I'm also going Texas Tech. I'm cheering more for the underdog than what I am for the SEC. And I think it's a great story with Nigeria Kennedy as well. Right, State Chris, who are you going?
I'm going to go Texas Tech. Let's go Raiders.
Okay, Van Rick?
It's tough, man. I don't want to see Texas win because it's Texas, but I don't want to see Texas Tech win because I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes cheering at the end. I want to see him crying.
I'm absolutely with you.
So, either way, I can't win. So, honestly, I'll say Texas because I want to see Patrick Mahomes cry. I want to see him upset. Hell with that guy.
You think he's going to cry?
He probably won't cry, but he's wasting his time and his money there. I want to see him wasting his time.
He's got a lot of money to waste. Okay,
I hear you. I know. So wasted. I want to see him using up his time, not having a good time. I want to see him not cheering. I want to see a frown on his face, just like he had about 3 months ago.
Hey, there you go. Oh, my goodness.
Philly fans, gotta love them.
Yeah, man. We love the hate, man.
Guns up, horns down. Sydney, we're also in the middle of the college baseball super regionals. Give me your top 3 super regionals that have your interest in baseball.
Well, of course, at number 1, I have Arkansas and Tennessee.
That's gonna be great.
I think any college baseball fan in the country probably has that one if their team isn't playing. That's just going to be an absolutely awesome game. Awesome series. Arkansas took the 2-3 advantage the last time they met, so we'll see. Another one that I really like is Auburn and Coastal Carolina. They're playing in Auburn, and I think Coastal they're just one of those teams that's always gritty, and they are always in the game, especially in the postseason. So I think that'll be a really good matchup. And then I also have Florida State at Oregon State. I think that's going to be awesome.
Who do you think wins that one, FSU, Oregon State? That one's a tough one for me. I know most of the people around here want to see Florida State win it, but Oregon State in Corvallis is going to be tough to beat.
It is. And Oregon State they've won the national championship. I personally have some PTSD from that situation, but because of that, I'd like to see Florida State win, but I think Oregon State always has a really good ball club, and they have a great coach and a great fan base. So I think Oregon State might be on top there, but I'm going for Florida State personally.
Well, Sydney, as always, thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate you and enjoy Game 3 of the Women's College World Series tonight.
Absolutely. You'll have a good weekend.
Hey, you too. Guns up. Pew, pew. All right.
Yeah.
You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. Don't forget to go follow Sydney Fields on Twitter, and then follow Sport and Story and Hogs Plus. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Final segment of the week coming up next. We're talking college baseball with Wright State Chris. I don't know. Who's he going to take? Florida State or Oregon State? Find out when we get back.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
Tonight, the Atlanta Braves are at Oracle Park to face the San Francisco Giants.
2-0 pitch all the way to Harris, and he blasts one high in the air, deep right field, and buried into the seats.
We're staying up past our bedtime for the Atlanta Braves on the West Coast. Coverage coming up at 8, first pitch, 9:15. Listen in ultra high fidelity on your spot for the A.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
No one wants to deal with a plumbing, electrical, or HVAC emergency. It's even worse when you're not sure what it'll cost, when it'll get fixed, or if someone's just selling you something. When you call Hiller, you can trust our experts to actually solve your home's problems quickly. And with true transparency pricing, you know the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. Book online now at happyhiller.com. Happy you'll be, or the service is free.
I'm a happy face truck today.
With
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? We can typically replace them while you wait. Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? In many cases, we can have it back to you the next day. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, just south of Tractor Supply. The best place in town to take a leak.
Now is the time for Brave Country to cheer a little louder as the 2025 Atlanta Braves start chopping their way back.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley.
Tonight, the Braves head west for the weekend as Sean Murphy and company roll into Oracle Park to take on the San Francisco Giants.
Braves heading to the West Coast to take on the Giants. Pre-game 8 o'clock, first pitch 9:15. Your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. He likes to lift weights in a parking lot and eat Weight Gainer 3000.
I'm really starting to feel out nasty.
David Hayes is part of the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida.
If that air conditioner ain't working, if you need some help with your plumbing, heating, or cooling, whatever it may be, our Confident Service technicians will provide you with a solution for any home plumbing, heating, or cooling problem. Let us show you how we can make you a happy Hiller customer. Contact your trusted licensed technician in Panama City today at 850-290-4341 or visit their website at happyhiller.com. We're live and local from the CBC Construction Studios. You can call us at the Red 7T's phone line at 850-215-6290. My goodness, I can't believe that I haven't even mentioned today. I guess it doesn't surprise me, but with all the baseball we've talked, the Atlanta Braves are right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. First pitch tonight at 9:15. Coverage starts after 2 hours of Paul Feinbaum at 8 o'clock. Braves baseball on ESPN Northwest Florida. Brought to you locally by Bill Bird Kia, PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Hewitt Tire and Auto, and Hometown Towing. Let's talk a little bit about these college baseball super regionals. We have Wright State Chris in with us. Wright State Chris used to play baseball for the Wright State Raiders. His team is already out of it, but we are in the super regionals. What's going on, Wright State Chris? Let's dive into it. We've already had 2 games. We've had 1 game final. North Carolina beat Arizona, 18-2?
Yeah, 18-5? It's 18-2. It said it was the most runs in supers for North Carolina ever. So
and they're kind of quietly just one of those teams that's not on everyone's radar.
Yeah, I think it's the ACC around here too a little bit. And you know, SEC is getting a lot of the TV spotlight right now. They've gone to Thursday night games, so they get on TV and everything, and the ACC is just kind of quietly floating under the radar. But there's going to be ebb and flow to it. A lot more SEC teams got knocked out than they thought were going to. You know, Vandy. Yeah. So, you know, Texas, who would have thought that Texas and Vandy were going to lose to 4 seeds? And, you know, it's just one of those things. So, But it's been crazy so far. So you're right about North Carolina flying under the radar at the moment.
Well, the other one going on is Miami and Louisville has a 7-run lead over Miami, 8-1.
And that's at Louisville.
And it's at Louisville there. So let's go through these and see who your picks were. You went 9-7 in the regionals. I went 7-9. Caveman Rick, I don't know if we've got your numbers spruced up yet, but we'll do that here before we dive into the College World Series. We'll get them all caught up, but you can go ahead and keep track of your super regionals here. We've got Louisville and Miami. Wright State Chris, we'll throw it to you every time. You break it down, give us your pick, and we'll go around the table.
Well, I'm just going to pick with the heart. I'm going to go with Miami. My head coach at Wright State, he's back on the Miami staff as player development personnel, Rob Cooper. So I realize they're losing today and they got to win too, but I'm going to go with Miami. Louisville's also knocked us out of the tournament, and when I say us, I mean Wright State 2 different times in the regional championships. So, and my dad's least favorite team was Louisville. So
there you go.
Miami there.
Least favorite team, Caveman Rick.
Since already won in one game, I'll just go with Louisville.
Smart choice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with every way that I picked prior to all of this, so I'm not gonna let the game influence me, even though I probably should. I'm gonna go with Miami and the Hurricanes to win the 3-game set. We'll move on to Corvallis, where Oregon State will host the Seminoles. What do you see from this series, and who are you picking?
Man, this is a tough one. First of all, Florida State's got to make a far trip out to Oregon State, but what's good for them is that they're gaining hours and they're not losing hours, so their body time's not going to be as crazy as it would be. But Florida State's got stud pitching. I think they got the best pitching staff in the nation. But Oregon State's got that fight in them. They've won the most national championships since the 2000s, so it's going to be a really tough one. I'm going to lean towards Florida State because they're pitching, but I see it going 3 games and at least one of them going to extras.
Caveman Rick.
Give me Oregon State. I like orange and black colors for teams, and like they're out west, and like a long ways to go for Florida State. So yeah, give me Oregon State.
This one is I really would like to see Link Jarrett and Florida State win the whole entire shebang. I'd like to see them in Omaha as one of the 8 teams, and I just don't think it's going to be the how it plays out. I think that Oregon State's going to end up being a better team here, and it doesn't normally work out very well for Florida State when they have to travel out west. That's just kind of been commonplace to this point, and more or less I'm speaking football, but the situation remains here. I'll take Oregon State to win at home in Corvallis. North Carolina, Arizona. I had North Carolina winning. Which direction were you going to be going? Wright State, Chris.
I'm going Arizona. I'm going for the Big 12. Obviously, they lost the first game, but, you know, the good teams know how to put the first game behind them, whether they win or lose. So I'm going Arizona.
And how often do we see someone almost use all of their runs in one game rather than saving them for the rest of the series, right?
And also, when it's blown out like that, Arizona doesn't need to waste any pitching. They don't need to worry about any of that either. So, you know, it's just they could throw a outfielder out there at the end.
Yeah, good point.
I want to go with Arizona. I think usually they're like a better baseball team, so I'm going to go to Arizona.
Yeah, makes sense there. Then we'll go to the Ryan Mulvey Super Regional, Coastal Carolina and the Auburn Tigers. What do you see from this series, and who is your prediction?
House divided at the Mulveys right now, but I'm going to go with Coastal. Let's go for Ryan. I really like the run they had in 2016. That guy's a lifer baseball coach, and I'm sure he could have gone a bunch of different places, but he stayed loyal. But, you know, you play on Myrtle Beach. It's pretty nice, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Auburn. It's being played in Auburn, so I'm going to take the home team.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Coastal Carolina right here. I just think that their pitching's a little bit better, and I cannot stand Auburn, even if we're an affiliate or not. But no, I think this is going to be a great series. Excited for Ryan to be able to keep up with this one, and, you know, it doesn't matter which direction it goes. He's still going to have someone to root for, and all-time classic to be able to go your alma mater versus, you know, your wife's favorite team there. So I will take Coastal Carolina. Coverage starts for the Atlanta Braves right here on ESPN Northwest Florida tonight at 8 o'clock. First pitch will be at 9:15. Braves versus the Giants. That westward swing there for the Braves. They need to win this series. I can't even think of an adjective that really fits in here, but they expeditiously, they need to win this series. Braves baseball on ESPN Northwest Florida, sponsored locally by Best Way Portable Buildings, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Mid-South Lumber, and Brock Pest Control. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. We're the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes, along with Caveman Rick and Wright State Chris. To the other side of the bracket we go. We've got the Roadrunners of UTSA taking on UCLA. What do you see from this series, Wright State Chris?
How weird is it to say that UCLA is in the Big Ten? I mean, like Big Ten baseball is not. I mean, it's good. No, don't get me wrong. But it's not usually, anyways.
How many Big Ten teams do we have remaining here? Just
UCLA.
Yeah,
Southern
UCLA.
Cal was the only other team that was close, and they lost both games to
Oregon State.
To Oregon
right?
State, yeah. So I mean, Nebraska was in it too, but they didn't make it out. Oklahoma destroyed them. Anyways, I'm going with UCLA. UCLA is the home team in this, you know, you got to give it to UTSA, though. I know that they were a big underdog, even though that they're the 2 seed going to Texas, and they're not going to have any type of qualms going to LA, but still, that's like San Antonio to LA is a completely different ball game, I feel like, you know, culture shock and everything.
Right. Mimi, give me the Roadrunners, man. Give me us.
There you go, going with the Roadrunners. I'm going to go with UCLA. They're more of an perennial baseball squad, baseball power, traditional baseball power. Give me UCLA. I love the underdog story. I would love to see the Roadrunners move on, but picking with my mind here, I've got to go with the Bruins. As we go to another upset available super regional, Duke will be hosting this one. They'll be hosting the Racers of Murray State, and John Morant will be on site to throw grenades and shoot. I mean, I'm just kidding. John Morant's not going to be there, but Duke, well, I don't know. He
might be.
Know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Duke, Murray State, right state, Chris?
At Florida State, they had metal detectors. That's all I'm going to say. But Duke's just, I'd love to see the only 4 seed in the tournament to move on to the College World Series. That'd be awesome. We don't see that very often. I think Kent State might have been the last 4 seed to make it. But Duke, I'm going to go with Duke. They're consistently been good. They've made a couple different super regionals. I don't remember if they made the College World Series last year, but I know they were in a super, and they've been consistent the last 4 or 5 years. Their coaches got them in a good spot, and I think they're made for this moment.
Give me Murray State. Why not? Give me the underdog and hopefully an upset.
I like that you've picked against me each time. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's just back and forth. I'm going to go with
4-4.
Who do you got in that one, Caveman? You're going Murray State?
Yeah.
That's going to be my upset of the Super Regional. I'm going to go with Murray State over Duke. And then we'll go to a very strong West Virginia team, and they're being hosted by LSU. LSU, West Virginia, right state, Chris?
This is going to be my not big upset pick, but I'm going to go West Virginia. I'm going to keep it with the Big 12. It really, I mean, I don't mean to say it shocked me. I shouldn't be shocked by Little Rock, you know, doing well, but Little Rock beating LSU like really threw me off, and so I think LSU's more vulnerable, even though I know it's at Alex Box Stadium, and then they're going to have all of the home comforts that they get. I'm going to go with a strong West Virginia team, keep it in the Big 12, and let's go West Virginia.
Yeah, how can LSU break the Jello shot record if they're not there at the World Series? So you got to give me LSU, man. They got to be there so that they can get those numbers.
They can still try.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they could go up there and say, hey, I know we're not one of the 8, but let us get some shots from Rocco's, and they'd still probably top the list here. I'm going to go with LSU here. West Virginia could come out on top, but I think LSU is going to end up being the better. I do think this one goes 3. I think West Virginia opens up with a surprise win and gets LSU a little off balance, but then LSU does very much like what they did to Little Rock, Arkansas, where Little Rock had a 5-1 lead, and it looked like they were going to be headed to a super regional, and then LSU just puts the barrel to the ball, and I mean, if you weren't watching that game, it was like, oh, this was never a game to begin with.
Yeah, I wish I knew his name. I was looking at the beginning of the year, but West Virginia's got a preseason one of the best ranked hitters in the nation. I wish I knew the dude's name, but they say he was going to be like a top 5 round draft pick, and so I wish I knew the dude's name, but I know that West Virginia's got a couple draftable players on their team.
Was it? Oh no, this is giving me football stuff. Oh, JJ Weatherholt.
Yeah.
We'll see. And then our final super regional to break down with Wright State, Chris, and we've only got about a minute left to do it here. Tennessee and Arkansas. What do you got from this series?
I'm going to go against what I normally think, and that is Arkansas. For some reason, their coach just never gets it done. He didn't get it done at Nebraska, and he had a chance to get it done against Oregon State a couple years ago, and their right fielder didn't catch the ball, and I think that comes from the head coach. But I'm going to go with Arkansas. I know I just said a bunch of things negative about Arkansas and their coach, but I'm going to say this year Arkansas's got it, and I think that Arkansas wins it this year, which is something I didn't think I would say, but I think Arkansas wins the whole thing.
All right, give me Arkansas moving on, too.
I also have Arkansas. That's a crazy play right now. Watching Shoemaker tag out George Springer on third base after he thought he was safe jumping up and down. I'm also going Arkansas, and I also have Arkansas as my eventual champion, and we will keep talking college baseball throughout of the tournament. Florida State actually on top of Oregon State right now, 1-0 in the bottom of the third. You can catch that game over there on ESPN2. Paul Feinbaum's going to be coming up next till 8 o'clock. Then the Braves will get ready. Coverage will start at 8 o'clock. First pitch tonight at 9:15. Y'all have a great weekend. Be safe out there. Just remember, Jesus loves you, and so do I.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers have something in common. Neither take the duty of quarterback with great urgency. The Pittsburgh Steelers lost their left tackle, their two quarterbacks, their top receiver, and a really good running back in Najee Harris. And their answer is, I think Aaron's our quarterback. We're not really sure.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. Partly cloudy tonight with a gentle breeze at 8 miles per hour out of the west-southwest and temps near 79. Tomorrow morning we will have possible thunderstorms and some sun and be very warm at 86. A likelihood of thunderstorms and mostly sunny in the afternoon and evening and a high 87. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Northwest Florida Wrestling presents live professional wrestling at the Possum Palace. Saturday, June 7th in Wausau. Exciting men's and women's wrestling with a huge 20-man Royal Rumble. Doors open at 4. Matches start at 5 at the Possum Palace. Front row tickets $15. General admission $12. Kids 5 and under free. All proceeds go to medical expenses for Chase Henson. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the
Hi folks, this is Tracy from Tracy's Fine Jewelry.